I want you to look at your bank account right now. Not the business account with the impressive-looking top-line revenue, but your personal balance. And I want you to ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. If you stopped working today, not because you retired, but because you simply couldn't show up, how long would that number stay the same? For most founders, the answer is terrifying. We've been sold a lie that revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. But I'd like to add a third layer to that. Time freedom is reality. You can have $1 million in the bank, but if you have to spend 80 hours a week babysitting a Slack channel to keep it there, you aren't a founder. You're a high-priced hostage. In 2026, the world is obsessed with the exit, the idea that one day a big company will come along, buy your stress for a multiple of your earnings, and finally let you live. But what if you didn't have to wait for a one day that might never come? What if you could build a financial roadmap that makes you self-sustaining right now? Today, we're going to dismantle the traditional hustle finance and replace it with the architecture of freedom. I'm going to show you the 5 stages of financial evolution that turn a business from a hungry ghost into a self-running ATM. Let's start with the story of a founder who ran a specialized high-end landscaping design firm. On paper, he was winning. He was doing $3 million a year. He drove the right car, lived in the right neighborhood, and his Instagram made him look like he'd solved the puzzle of life. But he had a secret. He was a margin slave. Because he hadn't built a roadmap, every time he made more money, he increased his presence requirement. He bought a bigger office, which required more staff, which required him to close bigger deals, which meant he was on the phone until 9 p.m. every night. He was rich, but he was broke in every way that actually mattered. He had no yield of absence. He realized that if he took a 2-week vacation, the company's overhead would eat his personal savings alive. This is the founder's trap, and it starts because we don't understand the difference between cash flow and equity. The first stage of your roadmap is what I call the ego audit. Most founders use their business as a personal validation machine. When the business has a good month, they upgrade their lifestyle. They buy the founder starter pack, the watch, the car, the expensive dinners. They tell themselves it's networking, but it's actually just a tax on their future freedom. The first law of a self-sustaining founder is to decouple your lifestyle from your revenue. You need to determine your minimum viable luxury, the amount of money you actually need to be happy, healthy, and focused, and you cap your salary there. Everything else stays in the business to buy back your time. If you're making $50,000 a month but spending $45,000 to look like a success, you are one bad quarter away from a collapse. You have to be a peasant in your private life so you can be a king in your strategic life. The second stage is the ROI of removal. In the beginning, you invest money to get more customers. That's growth math. But once you hit a certain level, you have to start doing freedom math. You have to look at every dollar of profit and ask, can this dollar buy back an hour of my week? I knew a solo consultant who was making $300,000 a year but was miserable because she spent 20 hours a week on administrative gunk, invoicing, scheduling, and basic research. She was terrified to hire an assistant because it felt like losing $60,000 of profit. I had to show her that she wasn't losing $60,000. She was buying 1,000 hours of her life back. With those 1,000 hours, she could either build a new product or, more importantly, go for a walk and think about the next 3 years. A self-sustaining founder realizes that the most expensive thing they can own is a task they are overqualified for. If you're listening to this and you realize your calendar is currently a minefield of tasks that someone else or a system should be handling, you're stuck in the operator trap. You're doing the work of 5 people and calling it entrepreneurship, but you're actually just a bottleneck. If you want to start fixing your business today and actually identify where your time is being stolen, we've put together a specialized checklist. It takes about 15 minutes to go through, but it's designed to pinpoint the exact operational leaks that are costing you 10 or more hours every single week. You can find the link in the description below. It's the first step to moving from the person who does to the person who designs. Stage 3 of the roadmap is the Systemization Tax. This is where most founders fail. They think that systems are something you do when you have extra time. But systems are the only thing that creates extra time. You have to start taxing your profit to build your infrastructure. This means investing in software that automates your lead flow. It means paying a writer to document your SOPs so you never have to explain the same task twice. It means building a business playbook that is so clear a stranger could walk into your office and run the company for a day without calling you. This is an investment with a 1,000% return, but it doesn't show up on a P&L immediately. It shows up in your ability to sleep through the night. If you don't pay the systemization tax today, you will pay the chaos tax forever. Stage 4 is the decoupling. This is the psychological shift where the business moves from being you to an asset you happen to own. At this stage, your financial goal isn't just more money, it's more distance. You start measuring the success of the business by how few decisions require your input. I worked with a software founder who set a goal called the 6-month rule. He wanted to see if the business could survive and even grow if he disappeared for 6 months. To do this, he had to stop being the chief problem solver. Every time an employee came to him with a question, he didn't give an answer, he gave a process. He invested his profit into a high-level manager who was better at the day-to-day than he was. That was his decoupling. His income stayed the same, but his presence requirement dropped to 0. That is the moment you truly become a founder. The 5th and final stage is wealth diversification. A self-sustaining founder knows that their business is a volatile asset. It's a Ferrari, fast and exciting, but prone to crashing. You have to take the excess fuel, your profit, and move it into boring assets, real estate, index funds, or high-yield bonds. This is the peace of mind fund. When the money in your boring accounts can cover your minimum viable luxury for the rest of your life, the business stops being a necessity and starts being a game. You no longer make decisions out of fear. You don't take on bad clients just to pay the bills. You only do the work that excites you. You've moved from hustling for a living to playing for a legacy. This roadmap isn't about getting rich in the way the world thinks about it. It's about being wealthy in the way that nature thinks about it. It's about having the yield of absence. It's about building a life where your value is not tied to your labor. Most people spend 40 years building a mountain of money only to realize they are too tired to climb it. A self-sustaining founder builds a ladder as they go. They realize that the ultimate luxury in 2026 isn't a private jet or a fancy watch. It's a Tuesday morning with no meetings, a clear head, and the knowledge that your business is helping people and making a profit while you're out for a run. The world will try to pull you back into the doing. Your ego will tell you that you're the only one who can save the day. Your peers will brag about how busy they are, but busy is just a euphemism for out of control. True power is the ability to say no to the noise because your systems have already said yes to the results. You are not your P&L. You are the architect of the machine that generates it. It's time to stop acting like a component and start acting like the designer. Are you ready for the complete self-running business system? We've created what we believe is the best business course on the market because we've lived the struggle and we've found the way out. We show you the exact frameworks, hiring scripts, and automation tools we use to build businesses that run entirely without us. We take you through the operational architecture of freedom so you can stop being a prisoner of your own success. Sign up 100% free, no credit card required, and get instant access to the full course intro right now. The link is in the description, and it's also the very next video on your screen. The bank account balance is just a number, but your time is a finite resource. Every day you spend grinding on things that a system could do is a day you've lost forever. The roadmap is right there in front of you. It starts with the ego audit, it continues with buying back your time, and it ends with you standing on top of a mountain you actually have the energy to enjoy. Don't wait for the exit to start living. Build a business that lets you live today. Imagine the version of yourself 5 years from now. That version of you is either still answering emails at 11 p.m. or they're sitting on a porch somewhere watching the sun come up, knowing their team is handling the doing so they can focus on the being. The choice of which version becomes reality is made in the next 15 minutes. It's made in the decision to stop being the hero and start being the architect. The vault is open, the keys are in your hand, and the road is clear. It's time to go, and I'll see you in the next one.